Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Terry and I do nail videos. Today I have a nail stamping video for y'all. And if you saw my last video, I reviewed a new nail stamping company. Well, a new to me nail stamping company called Manitude. In this video, I'm going to show you how I do a reverse stamping manicure using the Scooby-Doo plate that I was sent. If you want a more in-depth video on how to reverse stamp, I do have a video on that and I will link it in the cards. So be sure to check that video out if you want to learn how to reverse nail stamp. And yeah, just watch me and enjoy the video. So I'm starting off with this one image that has all the Scooby-Doo characters like in a line. This image is too long to fit on one nail, obviously, so I am breaking them up into 2x2. I was going to leave Daphne off, but I ended up adding her at the end because, you know, can't leave off Daphne. So I basically did Freddy and Velma, and then I scraped Scooby and Shaggy on a separate stamper. I'm using a black nail stamping polish, the one by Moira, I think that's how you pronounce it. And then I'm just taking a piece of Scotch tape and removing the unwanted parts of the image. So I'm taking off the extra characters I got on there, as well as any extra fluff that's on the stamper that I don't want on my nail. And I'm gonna set that aside. I like to let the black nail polish kind of dry on the stamper for a couple minutes before I start coloring in with nail polish, just so it doesn't smear. I'm also taking this little, what is it, like a flower and a flower attached to the line. I saw this picture off of Manitude's Instagram where they used its image and I really liked it. So I'm recreating that picture I saw. I'm basically just filling in the little star, and then on one side of this little squiggly line I'm painting this bright neon green. And this neon green is a stamping polish, so it is a little bit thicker than just a typical neon green nail polish. This neon stamping polish is from Twinkle Tea. So I let the polish dry on the nail stamper completely. Now I'm taking my Maniology Sticky Base coat, applying that to the nail, waiting about 20 seconds for it to get tacky. And then I'm going to line up this image in the middle of my nail. And you can see the image sticks to my nail, and all I have to do is take a cleanup brush with pure acetone and just remove the excess green. I'm not going to show this whole thing because it did take a couple minutes for me to remove the excess green without, of course, like peeling the whole thing off. So it was as easy as that. I did this design on my index and my pinky finger. I think it turned out pretty cute. Now I'm going to fill in the Scooby-Doo characters. I always like to start with like the facial features. So I'm starting with the white in their little eye sockets. At this point I would also fill in like the mouth, like if they have teeth or like tongues or something. I would do that first and then go over the rest of the body. So with Scooby-Doo, I started off with this like light reddish brown, but I didn't think it looked right, so I actually ended up taking that off carefully. Luckily I was able to take it off and change the color to like a dark, more cool toned brown. And I think it matched his coloring a lot better. And I just have this tannish color for Shaggy. And just filling that in with a dotting tool or a tiny brush, whatever I felt like using at the time. And I just keep flipping the image over to make sure it's looking right. And everything is filled in. Then I'm going in with his hair. And then, of course, the green of Shaggy's shirt. I'm going to sit this to the side for 5 to 10 minutes to let the nail polish completely dry on the stamper. But I really like doing this. It's like filling in like an adult coloring book or something. It's really cool. But just be careful not to press too hard so you don't smear any of the black lines or anything like that. Next, I'm going to, what's his name? Velma and Freddie, I believe. And again, starting with the eyes and the smaller details and then filling in the bigger details. And I was actually kind of going back and forth between all the stamps. I just kind of, like, as I was editing, put all the frames together. But I like to go back and forth and let, you know, each of the colors dry a little bit before I kind of go on top with a new color, just so I'm not smearing anything. And for filling in the details, sometimes I use stamping polish, sometimes I use regular polish. It just depends on what color I'm using and what color stamping polishes I have. But it doesn't matter. Sometimes using stamping polish can be better because it provides a little bit more coverage than regular nail polish. But, you know, so if you need to do a couple coats of a regular nail polish to make it completely opaque, that's fine. So like I said, at the last second, I decided to add Daphne because I felt like I couldn't have all the characters except her. So I decided I'm going to place her kind of behind Freddie and Velma. So I just scraped Daphne off and started filling in her features. And then let it completely dry on the stamper like the rest of the characters. And I'm just making sure to flip it over so I made sure I got every detail colored in. Then I'm going to go in with my Maniology Sticky Base coat again. Just a thin layer. Let it dry for 15 to 20 seconds. And then take my clear stamper. Make sure the stamp is completely dry, or the nail polish is completely dry on the stamp before you try to transfer it. And then it takes me forever to line it up perfectly, but I like this, and I just slowly push it down and kind of roll it a little bit to make sure all the corners are down, and it turned out pretty good. I'm going to go back over later and kind of remove any excess that got on my skin with a cleanup brush. So I'm putting Velma in the background, kind of in the middle. She's going to go between Freddie and Velma. So I just kind of place them on top at the free edge of my nail. And I really liked how that looked because it covered a majority of the nail. I feel like I needed something under the Scooby and Shaggy nail because it was just too much of the background color, but I was tired at this point. This takes a long time to color in all those images and stamp them on your nails. It really is a long process to do reverse nail stamping. So by the time I got to this point, I was just like, I'm not doing any more stamping. So the last thing I wanted to show you is I did like a little ombre on the thumb with the colors I used as the background colors on the other nails. The green, blue, purple. And I sponged it on with a cosmetic sponge over a white base. I'm just going to put the Mystery Machine wording on top of that ombre background. You know, at this point I was tired of doing any reverse stamping, so I just needed like a plain image, and I just made the background a little bit more colorful so it would stand out and not be so plain. So I did kind of smudge this because the background wasn't completely dry before I stamped, and I kind of stamped a little bit harder than I should have, but it all turned out fine after I applied the top coat. It kind of like, the background looked blended and everything. Next, I'm taking my Maniology, their smudge-free top coat, because I do not want to smudge this design. It took forever. So I'm just quickly going over the black lines with the smudge-free top coat to make sure when I add my actual top coat, the design does not smear. So here I am adding the actual top coat to add that glossy shine and to encapsulate the nail design. And I was really happy with how this turned out. It really brought me back to the 90s when I was watching Scooby-Doo growing up. And I really enjoyed this plate. I think it's a really nice plate. Has really good images that stamp well and are easy to, you know, reverse stamp and also fit on the nail. So really like this one. Again, if you're interested in learning how to, a more detailed video of how to reverse stamp, check out my video I did on that. And if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already, and let me know if y'all want to see more nail stamping videos this year, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye y'all.